Ariel, it's been 2 weeks of deadly attacks right now. And this began, I think it was on October 1st, even with this horrendous terror attack that killed 7 just down the road from here. Now, what are we hearing from Israeli authorities, the Shabak in particular, Internal Security Service, just about the nature of this threat and the work they're doing to stop it?
Right. So we usually hear about the attacks that unfortunately are successful, but we don't hear often about the attacks that are thwarted, that are prevented. And in a visit that Prime Minister Netanyahu conducted this evening at Shin Bet headquarters alongside Shin Bet Director Ronen Bar, the figures are staggering. 1,200 significant terror attacks were thwarted since the start of the war. Wow. That's October 7, 2023. And again, the emphasis was on significant terror attacks. That means
these are organized events being planned, right?
Organized events being planned with funding, backing, and logistical net of these terror organizations. These aren't the lone wolf attacks that, unfortunately, what appears to be the situation today. Those are harder to pick up on in advance for the Israeli intelligence services. And that's quite a staggering figure that is larger than what we see usually in the crazy reality of Israel. It's many hundreds to 1,000 a year, but there is, since the start of the war, an exerted effort by Palestinian terror organizations to incite for further attacks against Israeli civilians, against Israeli security personnel. A lot of it is organized, a lot of it is not, and this is a threat that Israeli security forces are dealing with. I won't even say daily, on an hourly basis. This is the threat.
And this is coming, from a wide variety on the spectrum. I mean, I've seen recent reports about ISIS-linked groups. Iran frequently is named as sort of the backer of some of these planning. Hamas seems to be in the mix all the time. So we're talking about an array of sort of sponsors of this kind of terror as well, right? It's not just one sort of origin for these movements.
David, let's look at the four deadly terror attacks this month. The first one in the light rail, 2 Hamas terrorists. Then we had in Beersheba an Israeli civilian from the Bedouin community. Then you had in Hadera an Israeli civilian from Al-Fahim. Here you have a Gazan who somehow made his way to the West Bank and then also somehow made his way to Route 4 near Ashdod. So there isn't a singular profile that you can identify, and it's this wide variety of threats. You have the organized terror, you have the unorganized terror, you have the civilians, Israeli civilians that take part in it. All this together illustrates how much of a threat Israelis are under on a daily basis, and the exerted resources and efforts that the Israeli security establishment is putting into thwarting them. Again, 1,200 significant terror attacks thwarted since October 7, 2023.
That's truly staggering, no doubt about it.